Hey, Tim's Tips here. I'm going to tell you what I did with my door. These pesky doors on the van here. As you can see, they're quite a monster. And I'm going to show you a little bit how to insulate, how I got better insulation in this van. So here we go. The main thing on this door is it's a movable mechanism, so you have to be real careful while trying to eliminate thermal breaks. And there's a lot of them on here, a lot of metal-to-metal contact to the outside where there's zero insulation, and actually no way to insulate it other than putting a thermal break in there, which is a 1-inch polyiso thermal break. And I use spray foam where possible. Don't want to gum up the mechanism. Replace the glass with acrylic, dual pane acrylic, and then I carefully check for interference, which I did have, and I'll show you how I resolved the interference. So first I started with replacing that big glass, very inefficient window, and I started by buying a big piece of plastic from the salvage yard and went and cut it out to the size of the acrylic frame, a dual pane acrylic window frame. Then I cut out that using a jigsaw frame to get the correct size so I could fit the dual pane acrylic window in. Then I put in 2 inches of polyiso in there, held in with the spray foam adhesive to act as an adhesive so that it's insulated all around. After the window was installed, as you can see here, I somewhat finished it with the wood trim, and then I sprayed foam in that channel area there and carved it out with this reciprocating tool. And that way, it got a nice clean look. Then I went down to the lower sections where there's part of the mechanism exists. I stuffed in 2 inches of polyiso. Very difficult cutting this to the exact location, dimensions, and had to trim and stuff until it started looking pretty good. After that, I put a 1-inch piece of polyiso over top of that, because obviously there's a lot of thermal breaks there, and at least I had an R6, 6.5 insulation over most of it, and then you can see the cutouts there. As I checked the door, the door started to interfere when the door is retracted out, and I recorded where it hit, where the hitting was occurring. You can see the little lines there where stuff was rubbing, and I put little X's there. And where the X's were, I carved until I got a good shape that would do the job, not interfere, yet have a little bit of thermal break in there. And in the end, it was many hours of trimming, and eventually got a good look to it. And as you can see here, I put the wood trim on it. Here's the upper part that interfered a little bit. Eventually covered all this with the wood trim. So here's a before picture with the one of the windows out of the van, and then here's the after picture with the fully insulated package. So that's it for now. Here's a photo of the front of the rig. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe and like.